Let us do the first question in heights and distances, which says that there is a circus artist who is climbing a 20-meter long rope which is tightly stretched and tied from the top of a vertical pole to the ground. Find the height of the pole if the angle made by the rope with the ground level is 30 degrees. You can see a circus tower in which a circus artist is climbing. The length of the rope is 20 meter and you're supposed to find out the height of this pole, and the rope is making an angle of 30 degrees with the ground. Using trigonometry, we can easily find out the height of the pole. Now you can see a right angle triangle in this figure, right? The boy is climbing the tower. The rope as well as the tower and the ground makes a right angle triangle, and we are supposed to find out the height of the pole, which is actually the perpendicular of the right angle triangle, and you are given the length of the rope which is making the hypotenuse of the right angle triangle, right? Now let the height of the pole be h meters because we don't know that. Okay, on using trigonometry, we have to see the connection between the sides which we have to find out and the side which we know. It is sine theta because we have to find out the perpendicular hypotenuse is given. The trigonometrical ratio which connects both the sine theta and here the angle theta is equal to 30. So it is perpendicular by hypotenuse sine 30. Sine 30 is equal to how much? Yes, half. And P we have taken as what? H meters, and the hypotenuse is given as 20 meters. Substitute the values here, cross multiply and get h is equal to 20 by 2. So that gives you h is equal to 10 meters. So what is the height of this pole? It is equal to 10 meters. Now the second question. A vertical straight tree which is of 15 meters high is broken by the wind in such a way that the top just touches the ground. You see a tree on the screen now. It is broken by the wind. Okay. The height of the tree was how much? 15 meters. Now a wind is blowing and the tree is broke. This tree makes an angle of 60 degrees with the ground. Now, at what height from the ground did the tree just break? So that means what? The whole height of the tree is 15. You have to find out the height from where the tree is broken, right? Now this is the height you have to find out. Now if you don't know some value, you have to take it as x. So this broken tree is making a right angle triangle with the ground, right? So you can see that this tree is making an angle of 60 degrees according to the question. So you are supposed to find AB, the height from where it has broken down. So if you don't know anything, take it as what? X. So the remaining part will be equal to 15 minus x. Now, if you look at this right angle triangle, you can see that you see the perpendicular and you have the hypotenuse and you are supposed to find out the perpendicular. Now, the question arises, how am I going to use the trigonometry to find out this broken part? So, you have got one single triangle that is also a right angle triangle. One of the angle is 60 degrees. And you have a relation between a side which is perpendicular and other is the hypotenuse. Now what is the trigonometrical ratio which connects these two? Yes, it is equal to sine theta. So here the angle is theta which is equal to 60 degrees as you can see here. It is equal to perpendicular by hypotenuse. So what is the perpendicular out here? AB is taken as x. Put the values. And this AC is taken as 15 minus x, right? Okay. Now put the value of sine 60. We all know it is equal to how much? It is equal to root 3 by 2. And that is equal to x divided by 15 minus x. Cross multiply. You get root 3. Inside the bracket it is 1.5 minus x and that is equal to 2x. Open the bracket. You get 15 root 3 minus root 3x is equal to 2x. Take all the x to one side. Take out x common and you will have 15 root 3 is equal to x. Inside the bracket it is equal to 2 plus root 3. Okay, now but you want the value of x. So you get x is equal to 15 root 3 divided by 2 plus root 3. Can we have a irrational number in the denominator? No. So rationalize it. So on rationalizing we got it as x is equal to 15 root 3 divided by 2 plus root 3, and the rationalizing factor here it is 2 minus root 3. Multiply and get the answer. You got it as 30 root 3 minus 45 meters. So the height of the tree, which is from the ground to the part where it is broken, it is equal to 30 root 3 minus 45 meters. Got it? Let us move on to the third question now. A contractor plans to install 2 slides for the children to play in a park, and for the children below 5 years, she prefers to have a slide whose top is at a height of 1.5 meters and is inclined at an angle of 30 degrees to the ground. Whereas the elder children, she wants to have a steep slide at the height of 3 meters and inclined at an angle of 60 degrees to the ground. What should be the length of the slide in each case? See, to do this, let us have the figure of the slide and apply trigonometry to find the length of the slide. What do you see in the screen? Here is a slide for the kids. What is the height of the slide for the kids? You can see that it is given here. It is 1.5 meters, right? Okay. And what is the length of the slide for the elder children? You can see that it is equal to 3 meters, right? Now, let us go on solving each of this question. So, let us do the solutions, right? Okay, now understand the diagram. You have to apply trigonometry, right? In the first case, it is for the kids below the age of 5 years. So, height of the top, it is 1.5 meters as you can see in the figure. Let the length of the slide be x. You don't know. So, let us put it as x meters, right? Okay. Now, if you look at this particular figure, you can see a triangle, right? Can you see the triangle here? Yes. Now, in this triangle, this is the triangle which I can say. And in this triangle, you can see that we are given the perpendicular and we have to find out the hypotenuse. Now, what is the trigonometrical relation which is connecting these both? Yes, it is sine theta. So, in this case, the angle is given to us and that angle is equal to kitna hai? That is equal to 30 degrees, right? So, what is the formula for sine theta? It is perpendicular by hypotenuse, right? Now, when you know it is perpendicular by hypotenuse, we know that we can consider the triangle which was shaking right now. So, perpendicular is 1.5 which is given to us and the hypotenuse we don't know, but we know the value of sine 30, right? So, what is it? It is equal to half. So, cross multiply and you get the value of x is equal to 2 into 1.5, right? Okay, so x is equal to 3 meters. So, what is the length of the slide in the first case? It is equal to 3 meters. This slide will be of 3 meters, right? Now, let us go to the bigger slide. This is the bigger slide, right? Okay, now, do you know the length of the slide? That is what we are supposed to find. Let us consider which was, it is not known to us, so it is equal to y meters. Okay, now, you know the height of the slide is already given and it is equal to 3 meters. So, we can apply trigonometry to this right angle also. You are given that the angle the slide makes with the ground is equal to how much? 60 degrees, right? Okay, now apply trigonometry to it. Sine theta we already know it is equal to perpendicular by hypotenuse. Okay, so that sine 60 aapko pata hai, that is equal to root 3 by 2. So apply this and 3 by y because p it is given as 3 and the hypotenuse you don't know, you have taken it as y. Cross multiply. You get root 3y is equal to 2 into 3 which is equal to 6. So, y is equal to 6 by root 3. You cannot have a irrational number in the denominator. You know it very well, so you have to rationalize it. So, let us rationalize now. And on rationalizing, we know y is equal to 6 by root 3 into root 3 into root 3 because root 3 is the rationalizing factor, right? So, you got it as 6 root 3 by 3. 3 and 6 cancel, so it makes it as 2 root 3 meters. So what is the length of the bigger slide for the elder children? It should be 2 root 3 meters. Fourth question now. Angle of elevation of top of a tower from the point of the ground, which is 30 meters away from the foot of the tower, is 30 degrees. Find the height of the tower. You can see a tower and there is a point. From here you are looking at the top of the tower, and what you see here is the angle of elevation is 30 degrees, right? Okay, you are supposed to find out the height of the tower. Simply using my trigonometrical ratios, we can find out the height of the tower without actually going and measuring it, right? So what is the distance of the point of observation from the building? It is equal to 30 meters, right? Okay, now you have got height of the tower, let it be equal to h because we don't know. And now you are going to consider the triangle ABC. This is the triangle ABC, which is right angled at B. Now we know trigonometry, tan theta, it is equal to perpendicular by base. So in the triangle ABC, you know that BC is the perpendicular and AB is the base. So what is tan 30? Tan 30 is equal to perpendicular by base, which was shaking right now. So put the value. Tan 30, you know it is equal to 1 upon root 3. P is the height of the building, which is equal to h, and B is the base, AB, which is equal to 30 meters. Now you have to cross multiply and get it as root 3 times of h is equal to 30, right? Okay, now if you calculate the value of h, then h is equal to 30 divided by root 3. Now again you have to rationalize it also. So when you rationalize it, you get it as 30 by root 3 into root 3 into root 3, because root 3 is the rationalizing factor. So h is equal to 30 root 3 divided by 3, that is 10 root 3 meters. The height of the tower is 10 root 3 meters, which is your answer. Question number 5. A kite is flying at a height of 60 meters above the ground. A string attached to the kite is temporarily tied to the point of the ground. The inclination of the string with the ground is 60 degrees. Find the length of the string, assuming that there is no slack in the string. You see a kite which is flying high in the sky. The height of the kite from the ground, you can see it is 60 meters, right? Okay. Now, this kite is tied to the ground point at A and it is temporarily tied to the string, right? Now, you are supposed to find out the length of the string. For this, you are going to use trigonometry, simple trigonometry. So, find out a right angle triangle. You can see that ABC here, it is a right angle triangle, right? Okay, and the string is making an angle of 60 degrees with the ground. So, you know the height. Okay, that means you know BC. And in the triangle ABC, you can see that this triangle, you know the height, that is the perpendicular, and you're supposed to find out the hypotenuse because that is the string's length. Okay. Now, so what is given to you? The height of the kite from the ground, it is 60 meters, right? And let the length of the string be x meters. So this is x meters. Okay. Now, we want a trigonometrical relation which connects the perpendicular and the hypotenuse, and we know that is sine theta. Here, theta is equal to 60 degrees. So, what is sine theta? We all know it is equal to perpendicular by hypotenuse, right? Okay. Now, what is sine 60? We have learned the values, right? That is equal to root 3 by 2, and that is equal to P. P is equal to 60 divided by h, that is x. We don't know what the value is. Now, if you cross multiply, you know you will be getting root 3 times of x is equal to 2 into 60, which is root 3x is equal to 120. So, what is x? That is 120 divided by root 3, right? Okay, now you have to rationalize it because you cannot have a number which is a rational number in the denominator. So on rationalizing by its rationalizing factor, which is root 3, we will get, that is x, which is the length of the string, is 120 into root 3 divided by 3. Root 3 into root 3, that is equal to 3. So if you cancel out this 3 and 120, it will be to length of the string, which is equal to 40 root 3 meters, right? Okay. Question number 6. A 1.5 meters tall boy is standing at some distance from a 30 meters tall building. The angle of elevation from his eyes to the top of the building increases from 30 degrees to 60 degrees as he walked towards the building. Find the distance he walked towards the building. You can see a boy and he is walking towards a tall building which is of 30 meters in height, and he sees the top of the building. The angle of elevation is 30 degrees initially. Then he walked towards the building, and from there he sees again the top of the building. Now the angle of elevation is equal to 60 degrees. You are supposed to find out the distance he walked towards the building. Now, as I've shown you in the animations here, we have got a tall building which is 30 meters in height, and the boy is initially here, sees the top of the building, angle of elevation is equal to 30. Then he walks to this position, again sees the top of the building, angle of elevation is equal to 60 degrees. Give the names to these points. Let us say that the initial position where the boy is A, then he moves on to B, and the center of the building at the ground level is C, top of the building is E. The eyes from where he sees, the boy sees the building, so that is F, and the second position where he sees, that is equal to, say, G. Height of the boy is equal to how much? It is equal to 1.5 meters, right? So when you consider the right angle triangle, you have to subtract the height of the boy here. So we know that the whole height of the building is 30, but when you consider the perpendicular for the triangle, it should not be 30, but it should be equal to 30 minus 1.5, which comes out to be 28.5 meters. Why? Because he is actually seeing the top of the building from the eye level, not from the ground level, right? Okay. Now let us consider the triangle E, G and D. This is the triangle under the considerations. Here you can see tan 60, it is equal to perpendicular by base ED by, that is DG. But what is this ED equal to? I know it is equal to 30 minus 1.5, which comes out to be 28.5, and we have taken the distance BC as Y, right? Substitute the values appropriately and calculate the value of y. We got it as 28.5 divided by root 3, right? Mark this as equation number 1, right? Okay, now consider the triangle E, F and D. What you can see here, it is this triangle, and tan 30, it is equal to again perpendicular by base, and perpendicular is ED and the base is FD. So we can write this as what? That is 30 minus 1.5, because ED is 30 minus 1.5, and FD, where is this FD? This is FD. So we have taken this AB as X and BC as Y. The distance which is moved is only X. So, and this distance is not given, so that is equal to Y, and we have already calculated the value of Y, the equation number 1. So put the values here. Tan theta is equal to 1 by root 3, that is equal to 28.5 divided by X plus Y. On cross multiplication, we get that X plus Y is equal to 28.5 into root 3. Now put the value of Y in this equation. From equation 1, you have to subtract this 28.5 by transposing to the other side. 28.5 root 3 minus 28.5 divided by root 3. Cross multiply. Root 3 into root 3 will make this 3. Root 3, 28.5 into root 3 minus 28.5. So on calculation, the value of X is equal to 32.90 meter. So what is the distance the boy walked? It is 32.9 meters, right? Question number 7. From a point on the ground, the angle of elevation of bottom and top of transmission tower fixed at the top of a 20-meter high building is 45 and 60 degrees respectively. Find the height of the tower. You can see a TV tower. It is on the top of a building 20 meters high, and from the point which is on a ground, the bottom and the top of the tower are at the angle of elevation of 45 degrees and 60 degrees. That means when you look at the bottom of the transmission tower, the angle of elevation is 45 degrees, and if you look at the top of the tower, it is equal to 60 degrees. Okay, you are supposed to find out the height of the tower. So we are going to find out the right angle triangles, use trigonometry and get the answer. Right, now what is given to you? The height of the building is already known, which is equal to 20 meters, right? Okay, now you are looking at the building from point A. So if you can see that angle BAC, we have named all the triangles, and you can see two right angle triangles, triangle ABC and triangle ABD, in which angle BAC is equal to 45 degrees, right? And you have got another angle, that is angle BA and D, that angle is equal to 60 degrees, right? Okay, now height of the tower, we don't know, we are supposed to calculate it. So it is taken as H. We are marking it as H meters, you can see here. And for this, if I happen to consider the triangle ABC, we are going to take this AB as x meters, and we know tan 45 is equal to perpendicular in the triangle ABC. BC is the perpendicular and AB is the base. So we know the height BC, which is equal to 20 meters, and AB is unknown to us, so we put it as x meters. Tan 45 is equal to 1, we know that. So 1 is equal to 20 by x, or x is equal to 20 meters, the distance between the point and the building, right? Okay, mark this as equation number 1. Now go to another triangle, that is triangle A, B and D, the larger triangle here. We know the angle here is 60 degrees, so tan 60, that is again perpendicular BD divided by base AB. What is the perpendicular BD is equal to? It is BC plus CD, which is 20 plus H. AB we know it is not changing, so it is equal to X. Substitute the values. Tan 60, yes, root 3, and that is equal to 20 plus H divided by X. We have already calculated the value of X, 20 meters. So substitute the value of X here, calculate it. You will get on cross multiplications 20 root 3 is equal to 20 plus H, or you can calculate H from it. So you can take out 20 common, root 3 minus 1 in the brackets, that is equal to H, right? So if you find out the height of the TV tower is equal to 20 into root 3 minus 1 meters. Done. Question number 8. A statue 1.6 meters tall stands on the top of a pedestal. From the point of the ground, the angle of elevation of top of the statue is 60 degrees, and from the same point, angle of elevation of top of the pedestal is equal to 45 degrees. Find the height of the pedestal. You can see that there is a pedestal, and on the top of the pedestal there is a statue, and you can see that a statue is having a height of 1.6 meters. Now you have got a point, and from the point P you are watching the top of the statue, in which the angle of elevation, you can see it is equal to 60 degrees. And from the same point, angle of elevation of top of the pedestal, it is equal to 45 degrees. Okay, now let us name the triangles. A, B, C and D are the points on it. So you are given height of the statue, which is DC, marked in this diagram, is 1.6 meters. Angle of elevation of the foot of the statue from the point A, it is equal to 45 degrees, and the height of the pedestal, it is equal to H meters, and the distance AB from the point where you are observing to the foot of the pedestal, that is your pedestal center is taken as point P, and that is equal to X meters, right? Okay, now you have to apply trigonometry to whole
problem to get the answer. So you have to search. If you're applying trigonometrical ratios, that means you in this class 10th have studied only about the right angle triangles, right? So you have to search for the right angle triangles. The one you can see here is the triangle ABC. I'm marking it with my marker. So in this you can see that there is an angle 45 degrees. Okay, so what is tan 45? We know tan theta is equal to perpendicular by base. So in the triangle which we are considering, that is triangle ABC, BC is the perpendicular and AB is the base. Okay, so that means H is the BC, H is the height of the pedestal and X is the distance of the point of observation from the foot of the tower. So H by X. It is shaking in the diagram. You can see that. So tan 45 is, yes, 1. So that is equal to H by X, right? Okay, now you can see that H is equal to X and this is marked as equation number 1. Now the next triangle. Search for another right angle triangle. Yes, this is the triangle A, B and D. This is also a right angle to triangle. This angle will be 90 degrees, right? Okay, in this the angle is 60 degrees, so tan 60, which you know that it is perpendicular BD by base AB. So what is the distance AB? It is, you can see here, it is HBC. BC is the value which is given as, taken as H, and you're already given the height of the statue CD, which is 1.6. So in order to get BD, you have to add up both. So it comes out to be 1.6 plus H and AB. I know it is equal to X. Right? Okay, now we are going to take the values here. Tan 60, which is root 3, it is equal to 1.6 plus H divided by X. Okay, now we are going to take the value by cross multiplications. X into root 3 is equal to 1.6 plus H, and on calculations we know that from equation 1, what is the value of this X? X is also equal to H. So put the value here, instead of X, you put it as H. So it comes to be root 3 times of H is equal to 1.6 plus H. Now again calculate, you will get H taken common, root 3 minus 1 inside the bracket. So H is equal to 1.6 divided by root 3 minus 1. Now rationalize it. So on rationalizing, you get the height of the pedestal is equal to 0.58 meters. So you got the height of the pedestal.
Question number 9. The angle of elevation of top of a building from foot of the tower is 30 degrees. The angle of elevation of the top of the tower from the foot of the building is 60 degrees. If the tower is 50 meters high, find the height of the building. What are you given here? You are given a tower and a building standing in front of each other. You are looking at the top of the tower from the foot of the building and looking at the top of the building from the foot of the tower, right? Okay, now the angle of elevation, if you stand at this position at the foot of the building, the angle of elevation of the tower is 60 degrees, and if you stand at the foot of the tower, so if you look at the building, the angle of elevation is equal to 30 degrees, and that is what it is given to us. And another important thing which is given to us here is the height of the building, which is equal to 50 meters, right? Now using this we have to find out the height of the building, this building, right? So let us consider the triangle A, B and C, that is this triangle. In this we have got tan 30 is equal to AC divided by AB. So this is the perpendicular and AB is the base, and AC is equal to H, and the distance between the building and the tower, it is equal to X. Now we know the value of tan 30 is equal to 1 upon root 3, and that is equal to H upon X. Cross multiply and get the value of H as H root 3. Mark this as equation number 1. Now let us move on to the triangle, that is A, D and B, that is this triangle. In this we can see that angle is 60 degrees. So tan 60 is equal to perpendicular by base. So that is equal to 50 divided by X. Tan 60 we know it is equal to root 3. So that is equal to 50 divided by X. On calculations we get
x root 3 is equal to 50. From equation 1, we know that h is equal to h root 3. Put the value here. You know x is equal to h root 3. And on calculations, we know root 3 into root 3 is equal to 3. So, we have got 3h is equal to 50 or h is equal to 50 divided by 3. On calculations, we get 16.66 meters. So, the height of the building is 16.66 meters. Okay. Now, let us do the 10th question. Two poles of equal heights are standing opposite to each other on either side of the road, which is 80 meters wide, and from a point between them on the road, the angle of elevation of the top of the poles are 60 degrees and 30 degrees respectively. Find the height of the poles and the distance of the point from the poles. Now, in the diagram, you can see that there are two towers, beautiful red colored towers, and that is each equal to h meters. Now, from a point B, you are standing here and looking at the top of each of the tower, and if you look at this tower DC, you see that the angle of elevation is equal to 60 degrees, and if you look at the tower that is AE, the angle of elevation is equal to 30 degrees, right? Okay. Now, if the height of the pole here each is equal to h, and the distances AB, it is taken as y meters, and the distance BC, it is taken as x meters. Since the whole of the distance is equal to 80, so I can write this y meters as 80 minus x meters, right? Okay, now all the variables have defined. The triangle is the right angle triangles, two right angle triangles which you have got, that is also named properly. Now, what are we left with? The calculation part, right? Now, in the triangle ABE, A, this is B and this is E. You are going to consider the triangle with 30 degrees of angle of elevation. So, you know tan 30 is equal to what? Perpendicular AE by the base, that is AB. So, AE is H and the line AB we have taken as Y, and what is Y actually? Y is equal to 80 minus x. We will substitute it later. Yes, and we have marked it as h is equal to y by root 3. Y is written as 80 minus x divided by root 3. Mark this is equation number 1. We have got the equation number 1 here. Next part, we are supposed to consider the next triangle in triangle DBC. DBC, this is the triangle. In this, the angle of elevation is equal to 60 degrees. So, in this triangle, you can see DC is the perpendicular and BC is the base. Tan theta is equal to perpendicular by base, that is equal to h point. So, tan 60 we know that is equal to how much? It is root 3. So, root 3 is equal to h by x, and from this you can simplify it. H is equal to root 3 times of x, which is marked as equation number 2. Now, equation 1 and equation number 2, both of them gives you the value of h, right? So, you can equate equation 1 and the equation number 2. We have got 80 minus x by root 3 is equal to x times of root 3. Cross multiply. You get 80 minus x is equal to 3x, because root 3 into root 3 is equal to 3. Now, from here, we know 4x is equal to 80. So, x is equal to 80 divided by 4, which is equal to 20 meters. Okay. Now, the point B is at a distance of 20 meters from the tower, which is here. This distance is 20. So, naturally, this distance AD should be equal to 80 minus x. What is 80 minus x? That is 80 minus 20, which is equal to 60 meters, right? So, from one pole it is 60 meters, another pole it is equal to 20 meters. Now comes the height of the pole. I know the height of the pole h. H is equal to what? We have taken in equation number 2. You can see here h is equal to root 3 times of x. We know the value of x is equal to 20. So, what is the height of the tower? The height of the tower is 20 root 3 meters. This is what we are supposed to calculate, the height of the towers, which is equal to 20 root 3 meters, and the distance of the point from where you are watching the two towers. So, from here, from point A it is 60 meters, and from C it is 20 meters. This is the solution to this given problem. A TV tower stands vertically on the bank of a canal, and from a point on the other bank directly opposite to the tower, the angle of elevation of the top of the tower is 60 degrees. From another point 20 meters away from this point, the line joining to this point to the foot of the tower, the angle of elevation of the top of the tower is 30 degrees. find the height of the tower and also the width of the canal, right? In this diagram, you can see a TV tower, and you can see that this is the bank of the river. I'll mark this as river, right? Okay, now you can see that there is a river here. You're standing on the bank of the river, seeing the top of the tower. The angle of elevation is equal to 60 degrees, and from the point 20 meters away from it, you can see that the angle of elevation of the top of the tower is equal to how much? It is equal to 30 degrees, right? You are supposed to find out the height of the tower and also the width of the canal. Using trigonometry, how are we going to do it? Let us see. So, you are given what? The angle of elevation. In the diagram, you can see that angle of elevation is DAC. This is DA and C, right? The angle of elevation is equal to 30 degrees, and angle of elevation which is from point B, you can see that it is equal to 60 degrees. This is angle DBC, right? Okay, now the two right angles, triangles are now seen on the diagram, and the distance between the point A and B, it is marked as 20 meters. Distance AB is equal to 20 meter, right? Okay, now let the height of the tower be h meters, and you can see that the width of the canal, I don't know, so it should be equal to how much? X meters, right? Okay, now consider the triangle DBC, the triangle with angle of 60 degrees. You know tan 60 is equal to perpendicular DC by base BC, so that is equal to h by x. We know the value of tan 60 is equal to root 3. So, root 3 is equal to h by x, or h is equal to root 3 times of x, and mark this as equation number 1. Now, the calculation part. Now, you consider the second triangle, that is the triangle DA and C. It's a bigger triangle with the angle of elevation as 30 degrees, right? So, in this triangle, if you want to find out the value of tan 30, we know again that is perpendicular by base, which is shaking right now, and tan 30 is equal to 1 upon root 3, AD is h, and what about AC? It is equal to 20 AB plus XBC, 20 plus x. So, by calculations, we know 20 plus x is equal to root 3 times of h, right? So, we know the value but of x, that is again root 3 times of x. So, you have got root 3 into root 3 times of x, right? So, that is equal to 20 plus x. You can see here 20 plus x is equal to root 3. Now, this cross is multiplied into root 3 times of x, right? So, it will give you 20 is equal to 3x minus x, because root 3 into root 3 is 3. So, you have calculated the value of 2x is equal to 20. So, x is equal to 10 meters. So, width of the river is equal to 10 meters, right? Okay, now this is the width. And next, you already know, according to the equation 1 which we have already calculated, that the h is equal to root 3 times of h. So, what is the height of the tower? The height of the tower is equal to root 3 times of h. So, it is equal to 10 root 3. Right? Okay, now you know the height of the tower as well as the width of the river. From the top of a 7-meter high building, the angle of elevation of the top of a cable tower is 60 degrees and angle of depression of foot of the tower is equal to 45 degrees. Determine the height of the tower. What you see is a building. It is 7 meters high and you see a cable tower which is very high. Standing on the top of the building, you can see the top of the tower and the angle of elevation here, it is equal to 60 degrees, right? Okay. And from the same point, you observe the foot of the TV tower and the angle of depression is equal to 45 degrees. You are supposed to find out the height of the tower, right? Now for this, let us consider the right angle triangles. Put this yellow and orange line as the height, because see, the shape of the tower is not properly given here. So you have to construct a right angle triangle. So I made a line here, right? Okay, now what are the two triangles you can see here? Let us name them. Triangle A, D and E. Here this is the triangle and another triangle is A, D and C. Two right angle triangles are there. Using these two, I am going to calculate the height of the tower. Okay, and of course trigonometry, yes. So what is given to you? Height of the building 7 meters. You can see this is AB, which is 7, right?
Okay, angle of elevation, top of the tower, which is equal to 60 degrees. This is the angle 60 degrees. Right? You are given the angle of depression of the foot of the tower, which is equal to DAC, that is equal to 45 degrees. Right? Let the height of the tower AC be h meters, and we are given that angle DAC is equal to angle BCA. What is this DAC? DAC, this one, and angle BCA, B, C and A being alternate angles, these two angles are going to be equal. So which triangle should I consider? N triangle ABC. A, B and C. It is tan 45. Tan 45 is equal to perpendicular by the base. Perpendicular is AB, base is BC. Put the values here. 7 divided by BC. We can easily calculate the value of BC, which comes out to be 7 meter on cross multiplication, and that is actually the distance between the building and the tower. Okay. So this BC and AD will be equal because they are the opposite sides of a rectangle, and opposite sides of rectangles are equal. Okay, now that also you know. Next I am going to consider is the triangle AD and E. Now in this triangle you know that you have got the value of tan 60. What is this tan 60 equal to? Again, perpendicular by base. So what is the perpendicular? That is AD, and base is what? AD, and AD I know that is equal to how much? BC, 7 meters, right? Okay, now tan 60 is equal to root 3, which is AD by 7. On calculations I got AD as 7 root 3 meters. Okay, this distance is 7 root 3 meters. Now, what exactly is the height of the tower? The height of the tower AC is equal to h, which is actually the sum of this DC and ED. Now, we all know, again, DC and AB are also opposite sides of a rectangle ABCD. Now, you know that this is 7. Why? Because AB is 7. So, this is also 7. And this one, that is the AD, we have calculated right now, that is 7 root 3 meters. Add them, dono ko jod do. So, AD plus DC, that is equal to how much? 7 root 3 plus 7. Take out 7 is common, so you will have root 3 plus 1, right? Let us now move on to question number 13. As observe from the top of 75 meters high lighthouse from the sea level, the angle of depressions of two ships are 30 and 45 degrees. If one ship is exactly behind the other on the same side of the lighthouse, find the distance between the two ships. You can see a lighthouse on the screen now. A straight line is drawn from the foot of the lighthouse, and there you can see the first ship. The angle of depression of this first ship is 30 degrees, and there you have the second ship now. The angle of depression of the second ship is equal to how much? It is 45 degrees. Okay. Now, you are supposed to find out the distance between the two ships. Can you see the right angle triangles here? Yes? Yes. Okay. Name them. The two triangles are triangle ACD and other is BCD. Right? Now, you know that the line OD and the line AC are parallel to each other, right? So, the alternate angles have to be equal, right? Now, what you can see here, the angle DAC, it is 30 degrees and angle DBC is equal to 45 degrees being alternate angles, right? Okay, now we are going to use the trigonometry to find out the distance between the two ships. Do you know the distance between BC? No. So, everything has to be marked. Let us consider that AB is equal to y meters here, and the distance BC is also not known. Mark it as x. Consider the triangle BCD now. In this triangle, you know that tan 45 is equal to perpendicular by base, that is CD by BC. Okay, tan 45 you know? Yes, that is equal to 1. CD, we are already given the height of the tower is 75 meters. So, CD, you put it as 75 divided by x. Cross multiply and get the value of x is equal to 75 meters. Now you know the distance BC, right? Now go to the triangle ACD, and in this triangle we can see that the angle here it is equal to 30 degrees. So in this triangle ACD we know that perpendicular is again CD and the base is full AC. But AC here, it is equal to what? AB plus BC. So put the values. Oh, the triangle is shown by shaking now. Put the values as tan 30 is equal to 1 upon root 3. That is equal to 75 divided by, we already calculated the value of this x now. That is also 75. Put the values here, cross multiply, and on calculations you get y 75 plus y is equal to 75 root 3 or y is equal to 75 root 3 minus 75. Take out 75 common inside the bracket, you have got root 3 minus 1, right? So the distance between the ships is 75. Inside the bracket, it is equal to root 3 minus 1, right? Root 3 is equal to 1.732 minus 1. So you have got 75 into 0.732. So on calculation, it gives you 54.9 meter. So the distance between the two ships here, it is equal to 54.9 meters, right? Let us move on to question number 14. In the question number 14, you see a 1.2 meters tall girl spots a balloon which is moving with the wind. You have got the little girl here. Her height is 1.2 meters. She sees a balloon which is moving with the wind at the height of 88.2 meters from the ground. Right? Okay. The angle of elevation of this balloon from the eyes of the girl at any instant, we are observing it is equal to 60 degrees. Okay. Now, after some time, the angle of elevation reduces to 30 degrees. Right? From the same point she is observing the same balloon, the balloon has moved forward and the angle of elevation is now 30 degrees. Okay. Now you are supposed to find out the distance which is travelled by the balloon during this interval. Now we are going to do the solution for this. Let us draw the rough triangles. You know that from the ground the balloon is at a height of 88.2 meters as you can see on the screen. Right? Okay. Now the distance from girl to the final position of the balloon is to be considered. So let us find out the distance. Now before that, let us write whatever is given to us in the question. You can see that the height is 88.2 meters, but the height of the girl is how much? It is just 1.2 meters. So you have to consider the right angle triangle which I am indicating by the pointers, in that the perpendicular is not 88.2 meters, but you have to subtract the height of the girl. So it is 88.2 minus 1.2. Why? Because ground से नहीं ले रहे ना, triangle को जो बना रहे हैं वो इसके ऊपर से बना रहे हैं, right? So for that this height is to be subtracted. So what does it give you? It is giving you only 87 meters, right? Okay. Now let us consider the distance of the girl from the first balloon's position. Let it be equal to AH and X meters, and the distance of the balloon in the first position to the balloon in the second position, let it be equal to HB. These two distances will be equal, and let us consider that this distance is equal to Y meters. Okay. Now you can clearly see two right angles here. So the first one I am going to consider is triangle D, G and F, right? And this tan 60, it is equal to perpendicular by base. What is the perpendicular? It is DF. What is the base? It is equal to DG, right? But what is this GF equal to? It is also equal to EC, and that is equal to, we can say this is BE minus of this EC, right? Okay, so what will you get here? This is BE minus BC होना चाहिए था, and that is equal to 88.2 minus 1.2, that is equal to 87. And this distance is equal to how much? This distance is equal to X. So in this triangle, we know that this distance is 87, this distance is equal to X. Okay, now put the values here. Tan 60 is equal to root 3. So root 3 is equal to 87 by X. Cross multiply. X is equal to 87 by root 3. Mark this as equation 1. Now move on to the second triangle. The triangle number 2 is D, C and E, right? Now here what you can see here, the angle of elevation here, it is equal to 30 degrees, and tan 30, as you know, it is equal to perpendicular by base. right? So the perpendicular here will be equal to EC and the base is full DC. Now what is this DC equal to? It is equal to H plus HB, that is X plus Y. So we can write this as tan 30, it is 88.2 minus 1.2 divided by AB, or you can say DH, which is equal to X plus Y. So what is the value of tan 30? 1 by root 3. That is equal to 87 divided by X plus Y, or we can know that X plus Y is equal to 87 times of root 3. Mark this as equation 2. Now you have got two equations, equation number 1 and equation number 2. So from equation number 1, take the value of X as 87 by root 3 and substitute in equation number 2. So 87 by root 3 plus Y is equal to 87 into root 3. Subtract 87 root 3 minus 87 by root 3. By simplification we got Y as 100.45 meters, right? Okay. Now the distance travelled by the balloon during this interval is equal to how much? It is equal to 100.45 meters, right? By applying simple trigonometry, we can find the values. Let us move on to the 15th question. A straight highway leads to the foot of the tower. A man who is standing at the top of the tower observes a car at an angle of depression 30 degrees, which is approaching the foot of the tower with a uniform speed. 6 seconds later, he sees that the angle of depression of the car is found to be 60 degrees. Let us do the animation and see. You have got a tower. A man is standing on the top of it. He sees a car, right? The angle of depression of this car he sees is at 30 degrees, right? Now, the car is now moving with a uniform speed and he observes the same car after 6 seconds. What do he see? That the angle of depression is changed to be 60 degrees. Find the time taken by the car to reach the foot of the tower from this point, right? See, you have got the car's first position here and the car's second position here. When he sees it, the first position, he sees the angle of depression as 30 degrees. Now see, any of it, angle of elevation or angle of depression, it has to be always to be taken from the horizon, right? So this is the angle of depression. In the first case, in the second case, that is the 6 seconds later, the angle of depression is changed to 60 degrees, okay? Now, using these two data, we are supposed to find out the time taken by the car to reach from this point to the foot of the tower. Okay, so let's do it. For this, we need some right angle triangles and we are also going to use the trigonometrical ratios. How to do it, right? Okay, so you have seen in the diagram that is the angle ODA. ODA is 30 degrees and ODB, it is equal to 60 degrees, right? Okay, now you can see that the line OD and the line AC both are parallel to each other. So, we know that the alternate angles, if the lines are parallel, then the alternate angles are equal. So, you can see that the angle ODA and DAC both are alternate angles, so they are equal. And you also know that the angle DBC is equal to the angle OD and B, which is each equal to 60 degrees, being the alternate angles, right? Okay, now let us consider the distance AB to be y meters and BC as x meters, because we don't know the distance at all, right? Now, let us consider the right triangle BCD. In this triangle BCD, we know that tan 60, it is equal to perpendicular by base. Perpendicular is CD and the base is BC. So, substituting the values, we get it as tan 60 root 3 h by x, or we can simplify and get the value as h is equal to root 3 times of x, right? Mark this as equation number 1. Go to the second triangle. You can see the second triangle, triangle A, C and D. In this right angle triangle, we have got the angle is 30 degrees. So tan 30 is equal to again perpendicular by base. So the perpendicular is CD and the base is full AC. But what is this AC? It is equal to the length AB plus the length BC, which is equal to x plus y. So 1 upon root 3 is equal to h divided by x plus y. Cross multiply, you got as x plus y is equal to root 3 times of h. So you have got two equations now, that is the equation 1 and equation 2. Cross multiplications will give you x plus y is equal to root 3 into root 3 times of x, which is root 3 into root 3 is equal to 3, that much of x. Okay, now we are supposed to find out the time taken by the car to move from B to C. For this, let us assume that the speed of the car, which is again not given to us, let us consider that it is equal to k kilometers per hour. No issues. We don't know, but we can take it to be uniform, and that is equal to k kilometers per hour, right? Okay, now we know that time is equal to distance by speed, right? So time is 6 seconds, we already know, and the distance it is going to travel from A to B, it is equal to y. Speed is equal to k. So what is this distance y? Y is equal to 6 times of k, right? Okay, now from equation number 2, we know that x plus y is equal to root 3 times of h. It is given now here. So put the value of y, x plus 6k is equal to 3 times of x, or simplify this and get it as 6k is equal to 2x, or x is equal to 3k. So this distance also is obtained in terms of k. So we have got y is equal to 6k and x is equal to 3k, right? Okay, now you are supposed to find out the time again to travel from B to C, that is the x meters. So we know time is equal to what? Distance by speed. What is the distance? X. What is the speed? K. So x is equal to, we have already known that it is equal to how much? It is 3k. Put the value 3k but divided by 3, that gives you 3. So the time taken by the car to move from B to C, it will take another 3 seconds. So that is your answer. Let us move on to question number 16. The angle of elevation of top of the tower from 2 points at a distance of 4 meters and 9 meters from the base of the tower and in the same straight line with it are complementary. Prove that the height of the tower is 6 meters. What do you see here is a tower. You have to find out the height of the tower if you observe this tower from 2 points, and what do you see? The angle of elevation of top of these two towers are complementary to each other, right? One of the point of observation is at a distance of 4 meters and the other one is at a distance of 9 meters, right? Okay, what is the angle of elevations equal to? The angle of elevations are complementary to each other. So at B, if you take it as theta, the other should be equal to 90 minus theta, because we know that the complementary angles means sum of the two angles is equal to 90 degrees, right? Okay. Now, in a right angle triangle A, C and D, I am pointing it here. This is the right angle triangle. Now, we can use simple trigonometrical ratios to actually find out the height of the tower. Okay, now see here, we know that in triangle ACD, we are supposed to find out the value of tan 90 minus theta. What is this tan 90 minus theta? Tan 90 minus theta. Tan theta is equal to perpendicular by the base. So what is the perpendicular here in the triangle ACD? It is CD and the base is AC. Okay, put the values. So you have got cot theta is equal to h by 9, because CD is equal to h and AC is equal to 9, and tan 90 minus theta, we know it is equal to how much? It is equal to cot theta, right? Okay, simple na? Tan 90 minus theta is equal to how much? Cot theta, because the angles are complement, and we know that cot theta is equal to what? It is equal to cos theta by sin theta. Okay, now let us move on to the second triangle, that is triangle BCD. Look at this triangle, this is BCD. Okay, in this triangle BCD, if you want to find out the value of tan theta is equal to again perpendicular by the base. The perpendicular is equal to h and the base is equal to 4, which is BC. You can see here in the diagram, and it is also shaking, right? Okay. Now, you have got two equations now. One is cot theta is equal to h by 9 and the other is equal to tan theta, which is equal to h by 4. Now, there is a connection between the cot theta and the sin theta. We all know that if you want to find out the product of cot theta and tan theta, what do you have for cot theta? We know cot theta is equal to cos theta by sin theta, right? And what about tan theta? It is equal to sin theta by cos theta. Cancel it and you get the answer as 1. So, if you have to multiply equation 1 and 2, you got it as cot theta into tan theta, which is equal to h by 9 multiplied by h by 4. So, we have got 1 is equal to h square by 36. So, h square is equal to 36 or h is equal to 6 meter on taking the square roots, right? Okay, so what is the height of the tower? The height of the tower is 6 meters.